All right, so bear with me on this one. I always forget to charge a second battery for these GoPros, and they die really fast. So, both on the rebuild and on the first start, the battery died on the second half of the process. So, I just took both of these videos and I made one video of basically both processes. So, thanks for watching and enjoy. Okay, today's the day after, I don't know, weeks of waiting to finally get to rebuild my motor. Things have finally lined up and I can. I had to go on a hunt for rotors, which I got a couple bad ones. Those didn't work out. Had to return them. And then I finally found a good set of matching ones online um, from a builder. I got both of those shipped to me, and then I had to send them off to Mazda to get balanced and side cut. And then I had to fly back home for a bit, and what was supposed to only take, you know, yeah, let's do this next week turned into almost 2 months, it seems like. Yeah. So I'm heading out now. It's like an hour and a half away, and I'm gonna get to it. So yeah. So before we get started, this is my rotating assembly and my rotors that I had to get balanced. And your rotors have to be within 50 grams of each other. Mine got to 13 grams apart, which is pretty good. They got side cut, so they look nice and pretty. You get them side cut so that they don't hit any of the irons at a high RPM, which will eventually lead to damaging your motor. It's just kind of safety precaution if you're going to be doing any type of racing or running, high boost or high RPM. And of course, while it's being built, you got to street port it. So I did most of it, and Jose would come by, check up on it, give me little tips, as you see, and he kind of just touched up whatever shitty work I did. So here we go. So we start by cleaning out where the side seals go and the springs, like I was saying, because of the side cutting, got to clean it out. And then we move on to putting in the springs, and you'll end up using some grease to keep everything in place, but you want to make sure they're all lined up so the apex seals will go in. Yep, there's the grease. Just a little bit everywhere so it all stays in place, and then it all gets burned off once you start the car. You want to make sure those are nice and lined up. And then you move on to, well, you put the springs in there, which I didn't include in the video. But the side seals, which is what we move on to next, is probably, as far as one thing goes, it's probably the most time-consuming part. And here I am marking the edges for a rough estimate of how far it needs to be grinded down on the sanding stone, or the grinding stone, sorry. And basically you're just going to just keep grinding away and until it's within spec. You don't want to go too far because then you'll lose compression, and you got to make sure you do enough so that it'll actually fit in there. And you'll have your measuring tools to make sure you're in spec. So a lot of the grinding, and then checking, making sure everything's good. And Jose would come by and make sure I wasn't messing anything up. Had a few close calls, but I was luckily all in spec. There I am, just kind of making sure the spring's doing its job, everything's nice and clean, so that everything can go up and down as it should. If it's too snug, got to take her out, do a little more grinding. But if you overgrind it, if you're over sand it down, you're going to have to get a new side seal. So be very careful. So Jose comes over and double checks my work before moving on to the next step. And I passed the side seal, corner seal test, which was great. Now we're about to move on to doing the O-rings, which, to be honest, I'm glad I'm going back and editing all this because I really thought I messed something up, and I've been freaking out, since I did this, 2, 3, maybe 4 months ago. But after watching all this, it appears that I did everything correctly, so that's really good. I honestly, I thought you're supposed to put these O-ring springs in a certain method and make sure they fit. There's going to be little grooves. There's going to be 2 little grooves they kind of lock into. And I got concerned that I put them in the wrong way on the rotors. So I've been kind of low-key been freaking out. But yeah, after watching this, I did it the right way. I don't know what would happen if you were to put them in the wrong way, if the opposite direction or just one of them was the wrong direction. If you do know, write it down below and let me know. So this is me just putting in the O-rings and pressing them in. Pretty straightforward, really. I do want to say that this process of building the rotor is, I think, extremely important and doesn't get maybe as much coverage as like the stack and the apex seals. My camera died after doing this part, so I don't have any of the stack or the apex seals or doing the front stack, which I also messed up quite a bit and had to redo a lot. So I'm going to jump straight to getting the car started finally. Alrighty, welcome to the second part of the video where we finally get the car started. Now, it took a process to get here, and we had actually already got everything installed in the car and tried starting it on our own, and we had no luck. So Jose, thank God, thank you so much. He came by, he drove the extra hour to come by the shop and help us get it started. What ended up being the reason why the car wouldn't start was, 1, my battery didn't have enough cranking amps, and 2, I think that was really it, actually, now that I think back on it. Basically, the battery I had that we were using didn't have enough cranking amps, so we had to use a shit ton of starter fluid to get it, to get it finally started. That's why in the video you'll see it start how it does rather than a relatively easy startup. So yeah. Sorry. Oh my God.
Not slow. Slowly.
I felt something there.
Keep on.
Keep on.
Yeah, back or back. Stay in the white line. Just try that one. Don't step in the gas all the way.
Halfway?
Halfway. Yeah.
Okay.
Ready? Oh, fuck! So yeah, we got the car running, super sick. A big thanks to Jose. If you guys need to get your rotary engine rebuilt, you should definitely hit him up. He's going to be opening up a shop relatively soon, so you should probably hit him up before he has to charge those clout prices. I'll put his Instagram below. A huge thanks to Jaime. A huge thanks to Ron for coming by all the time and helping me out getting mine running. I had a lot of electrical issues. So much. Big shout out to Walter for sure. He helped me here and there. And definitely probably the biggest shout out to Randy at JM Carboy for letting me build the car at your shop during the whole pandemic thing. I mean, yeah, this car definitely would not be running without the help of all those people. And I couldn't have done it by myself. I'm a ding dong. I mean, just super grateful that it's now on the road and it's done. Costs a lot of money getting a car that hasn't ran in a long time on the road. If I were to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't. I would just save up more money and get a cleaner one and work on things, over time. The benefit of having gone the route that I did is that, everything except for the exterior and the interior of the car, like the whole driving components of the car, are pretty much, either rebuilt or brand new. And once I get all my little quirks, taken care of, it's almost like a brand new car underneath. And that's what's probably the best part, going through this, and, the whole learning process, and, all the friends you make along the way. But yeah, I want to just say thanks again to everybody who helped out, because there's just no way I would have done it alone. No way. But I'll include some videos of it running. And yeah, thanks again for watching. I love you. I'll try and make the next one better.